it seems to make it incredibly difficult to even know how to change if we're so fraught with these cognitive slippages that trick us about our preconceptions. What kind of virtues, if you don't mind me saying, I think you call us to certain virtues when you're asking us to return to a kind of teachable, changeable place?
Well, it's mostly all of these things I think come back to um, it's some version of humility because what we're asking people to do is to revisit their assumptions and entertain the possibility that they're wrong. And that's a has been a big theme in all of my work. It's the central theme of my podcast, Revisionist History, um, that it's any kind of um, to be interested in history and making sense of what has happened is, to my mind, explicitly an action rooted in humility. That the only reason to do it is if you're open to the possibility that what you believe at this moment is not correct.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. If you're just looking, if it's all a grand exercise in confirmation bias, then you why would you even
Yeah.
um, embark on that process in the first place?
Yes.
It's so um, you have to be comfortable with this idea that you may have jumped to a conclusion that was false. And one of the great puzzles I have with human beings is why that's so difficult for us. It should be fine to say I was wrong, and being able to say I was wrong makes, if you're just interested from a self, if you approach this from a purely self-interested perspective, saying I was wrong or I've changed my mind makes your life so much easier,
Yeah.
right?
No, but no regrets. But no regrets, Malcolm. I mean, I like because I study American cultural lore, and I am always shocked by the amount of self-help literature that is entirely dedicated to refusing the sort of alteration of the past that you're describing, the rethinking, the
Mm-hmm.
deep questioning, because it does seem to violate this deeply held American belief that it will then ruin the ability to then say, "But it made me who I am today," or it you know, maybe that's why you're so uninterested in the future in that way, in a way that I absolutely love, because it becomes a kind of intense and endless futurism. If it's always better, and yet it completely truncates looking behind you. It does make for this very hyper present and hyper futurist kind of person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I was thinking as you were talking, on this question of how much easier it is to live your life if you're willing to say I was wrong, and how much harder it is to live your life if you are so relentlessly future focused. Because if you're future focused, you're constantly measuring yourself against an uncertain standard, and you're constantly making a series of bets
Yes.
about the way things will turn out,
Yes.
which will invariably, as we've stated, be wrong.